Welcome, everyone, to the Utah PTA Pulse Podcast. I'm Mike Williams, Communication Director. To my right, your left is...
I'm Angelee Aedo, the Family Life Commissioner.
And I'm Cammy Whitchurch, the Community Engagement Commissioner.
And today we are going to talk to you about the advocacy events that are coming up tomorrow, today, in 3 days. Advocacy.
Yeah, we're kind of feeling a little stressed about all the work we have to do during this session. It's okay.
Yep.
It's okay.
It's going to be good.
Okay, well, to center us, before we start the session, I'm curious if you have like a word or a mantra that you want to live by this year. So I thought about asking this question, and I actually wore this shirt, and it says "Everything in Place." This was my mantra a few years ago, and so I wore this shirt specifically to like give you some ideas if you don't already have one.
Interesting. So this is kind of something that's been running through my brain. I hadn't necessarily settled on it, but maybe I will. Is the word intentional.
Oh,
and
yeah,
just
I love
being
that.
intentional about the things that I do this year and really trying to not just like let things happen. Sounds like, not that that's bad, but like intentionally seeking out and doing the things that I feel like I need to do. I don't know if that made sense.
Yeah. My friend posted that her word was joy, and that was kind of the word I was thinking about. And just to make sure I'm finding joy in all the things, you know, like sometimes I forget that there's joy in the little things that we do every day. And I think when you're seeking joy, you recognize it more often in your life. You just feel better about things. So I was like, oh, I'm a copycat, but I think that's the word I wanted to go with this year.
This is kind of crazy, but just and holy, which equals a wise man. My dad told me a couple weeks ago, he's like, you need to be a wise man, a just and holy man. And I'm like, cool. Sounds awesome. So anyway, I have been thinking it, and it's weird. I go, okay, he said, what comes out of your mouth needs to be just and holy. And so I've been better with my kids and trying to make sure I listen to their side, because Mommy, and I'm like, okay, let's all talk together. What is going on? So let me just stop it. Stop screaming at each other. Great, I'm screaming. Suck.
I know that's the worst.
Dang it. So
It's so true.
that's my thing this year, just and holy.
I love it.
A wise man. We'll see how wise I can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's good to have a word or like something that you're like working towards, you know, because we're not perfect, and when we have our mind set on something, we can get better and learn from what we're doing. So,
Yeah.
and I will definitely fall short for sure.
Oh, always.
Yeah. Well, it's like I used this thought yesterday, and it was kind of talking about, ironically, the first line is, your first podcast will be bad.
Ours was probably bad.
And just, you know, like a lot of your firsts are going to be bad, but you can't have your 100th, you know, podcast or whatever without having your first, and you have to start somewhere. And rather than, you know, sitting and waiting and trying to achieve perfection with your first, like let it be, like just get started and let it be the process that you grow and learn in. So, yeah.
You know, if I was tying it to PTA though, mine would be just try. Just try. It's gonna be hard, and you're gonna miss so much stuff, and just try.
Yep.
And I think you just try every day, because there's days where I'm like, oh, I should have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it. Just do something. Try. Just try. And you'll get through it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Today at our board meeting, we had a diversity and inclusion training, and it was so good. And I just, Farah, our diversity and inclusivity specialist, she gave us some like really good tips on how to, I don't know what I want to say, how to be better. And I was like, people not of our culture, they just appreciate it when we try, even if we like make a mistake or we say the wrong word in Spanish or whatever the case may be. Like, trying is better than not doing anything, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think people see that effort.
Yeah.
And they know that you're trying, and sometimes you can meet in the middle a little bit too.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. So
I love it.
Yep. Okay.
I think that's a good segue to advocacy. You just got to try.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you feel like, as when you think about the word advocacy as a whole, it is a lot. You know, you're like, I can't do that. It's too much. But you just have to start somewhere, and it can be little. Or you can be crazy like us and jump off the deep end and do it all.
It's very true.
You're just trying to survive.
Mm-hmm. Yep. For sure. Well, and it's kind of, Christina Pexton actually used the analogy, was that yesterday? Of a puzzle.
Yeah.
And, you know, like when you see it all out there, it's just this mess and chaos and you don't know what's going on. And you slowly put those pieces together and you make something of it. And, you know, sometimes you get super excited about just like, you know, when you find like that one piece that you've been looking for the whole time that ends up not looking at all like what you thought it was going to be. You know, sometimes I think advocacy is like that, and things come together, hopefully in a beautiful way and make a picture. So, yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have some events that you can come and be involved in the advocacy process this legislative session. It starts January 21st, so that's coming up here quick.
Yeah.
It's going to be here in like 2 weeks. But the first thing that we have on the docket is the Utah PTA Legislative Preview, which is, what is it on again?
It is the 15th.
The 15th of January. So that's coming up next week. Or maybe when you hear this, hopefully it's still next week. I think we're gonna post this tomorrow.
Yes, we are.
This one's coming up quick.
Yeah, so it's the 15th, and that one is at 9 a.m. and it's a webinar, so you can just hop on Zoom. We'll have the Zoom link on the Utah PTA website, and you can just hop on and join us commissioners there, and Abby Cox, the First Lady. So,
yeah.
And we're gonna talk about, what are we gonna talk about there?
I mean, I think this one's a good one for like jumping in and kind of getting your feet wet, because we talk a little bit. Are we doing white sheets for that one?
No.
Is that one? But each one of the, you know, though Christina, I'm sure will get on and talk just a little bit about the legislative session and kind of what we do as PTA, and then each of the commissioners will take a little bit of time and talk about kind of what they're doing and how that relates to that. So I think it's a really good way to kind of get a nice, light introduction, I guess, to the advocacy part of PTA.
And you'll hear some of the things that, like, maybe we've already heard about. Like, there's some different education bills that we already know about, and so we'll kind of talk about those too and what to look for in the session. And Governor Cox couldn't be there that day. We often have him on there, but his wife is going to come too, and she's awesome. So we like her.
And we will be talking about, so if you want to find out how many volunteer hours we had for the 2024 year.
For the whole state of Utah, right? For all the PTA members in the state of Utah.
Yep. If you want to find that out, we will be presenting the check to Governor Cox on Monday, and then we'll have a little presentation about that on the 15th. So you can find out how many hours. We're fingers crossed that it's over 1 million.
We were so close last year.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. So close.
Yeah. And I mean, to me, that blows my mind away. And what that saves, you know, the state in paying wages and whatnot is pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So that'll be on there. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I like that part a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool to think that, you know, your hours do make a difference, and they do something.
I mean, you just think of all the programs you could do in that many hours, you know, and all the programs that wouldn't exist if no one was doing them.
Yep. Well, and the thing that always baffles me is, like, it's this huge number, and I think that's not even all of them.
Yeah,
that's just what's reported.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always like, everyone report. Like, I would love to see an accurate number. If we could just, like, stick a volunteer pedometer on everyone and find out how many hours they actually give, I'm sure it would just be astronomical. It would be amazing. So PTA does good things. Thanks, you guys. You do awesome things.
Yeah, PTA is awesome. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for that.
Mm-hmm. And you can stay in your pajamas.
Yeah.
You don't even have to get dressed for that one.
Maybe I won't get dressed.
It's like during COVID when people would just like wear their pajamas and then wear something nice up top. Yep.
It's going to be great. I'll get dressed. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to check with you on that.
Yeah, I know. I'll be sure to say that on my portion of the slideshow.
I'm not wearing my pajamas for anyone who watches the podcast.
I don't know. I did get some really cute black pajamas for Christmas. They're really cute. It could work.
They may not even know they're jammies. Yep. So stay comfortable, but learn, kind of get your feet wet a little bit about advocacy and maybe learn a few ways that you can get involved that interest you. Because I think it's, when it interests you, you're more willing to get involved.
All right. What's the next thing?
Then we have, which one do we want to talk about first? That one or that one?
Oh, this one comes first, technically.
Yep.
So.
Okay. So then we have Utah PTA Day at the Capitol. And because of all the construction going on up at the Capitol this year, it's going to look a little bit different. And we had to split it into 2 dates. So it's split by your region. If you don't know your region, how do they find that out? Can I go to the webpage and just find out?
I don't know.
I think it's listed on the webpage. We'll have to figure out how to find out your region. Call your PTA president or your council president.
I don't actually know.
I know, and these numbers after this year totally change anyway. So it's going to be a little bit different. But on February 7th, from 12 to 2, we have regions 4, 5, 6, 10, 17, and 19. And so what you'll do is you'll come, because we don't, right now the Capitol really can't facilitate like a group, which is why we're doing the preview on Zoom earlier, because it can't facilitate like a big group.
Yeah, there's a lot of construction, and they're building new things and renovating things. And
if I understand correctly, like the rotunda area is...
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Completely under construction. So you'll come, we'll have a little packet for you, and we're going to try and take a picture on the stairs. Hopefully they're accessible. If not, we'll find a place to take a picture of everyone that's there. If you want to, support PTA and wear your PTA blue...
Not required.
Nope, definitely not
but
required.
But
if you want to wear PTA blue, you can. And then afterwards, and then you pick up your lunch and you go into, the rooms are divided up by regions so that they can bring in your legislators that are from your area. So your senators and your House representatives, they come in, you can ask them questions. And then to kind of help you out with that, I believe there will be what they call white papers in your packet, which are put together by the commissioners, and they're just different bills that deal with education things and kind of a little write-up on them, and our positions on them if we've taken positions, and the resolutions that relate to them, so you can at least kind of be a little bit educated going in there and meeting your representative. And I think it's good because it kind of humanizes them, and it helps you realize like they're just people too, and you can talk to them.
And sometimes you'll get like kind of the story behind why a bill was created, and sometimes you're like, oh, okay, I could support it now, or you're still like, nope, still don't like it, or whatever the feeling is. But sometimes it's nice knowing that backstory a little bit, so you could kind of get into their mind too. So
yeah, for sure. So I always think that's probably my favorite thing, is going in and being able to talk to the your legislators and kind of start to build that relationship. And I think it does make a difference, because I know my representative, like he knows, like when he's seen me, he's acknowledged that he knows who I am, and he'll wave and say hi. So I think that makes a difference.
Yeah, totally. Mike, have you ever been to PTA Day at the Capitol?
Nope. But I did find the regions for what days.
Oh, good. Okay.
So February 7th, 12 to 2 is...
We already announced that.
But we don't know how to tell them to find their region.
Well, that's what it says. Regions 4, 5, 6, 10,
but
17.
What if they don't know what region they're in?
Oh, what if they don't know what region they're in?
I know. I think it's on the About. If you go to About and you go to, what is it, Our Team. So you go to utahpta.org, and then you go into the About tab, Our Team. It doesn't like my fingernails. And when my hands are dry, it doesn't like my hands either. And then you go down to regions.
Find your region.
Find your region. And then it'll tell you, so like Region 1 is Box Elder School District, and it'll just go down. You can find your school district and figure out what region you're in so that you know when to come. And if you can't, well, I guess you kind of want to come on your day, because if you don't come on your region's day,
then you won't see your
your
representative.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to go on the day that's designated for your region. So yeah, so February 7th from 12 to 2 is regions 4, 5, 6, 10, 17, and 19.
Wait, it's 4, 5, 6, 10. So 4 and 5 are Salt Lake Granite. So, I mean, yeah, anyway, go to that map.
Yeah. And then February 21st, which is 2 weeks later, same time, 12 to 2, it's regions 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, 12, and 21. So it'll be good. You can come in, talk with your legislator. I believe, well, I don't know how it's going to be, just the construction. I would plan to get there early or carpool.
Yeah.
For sure.
Parking is always, well, it's always a nightmare up there, but I've heard it's really bad this year. So give yourself ample time to park if you're driving yourself, or even carpooling, because if you're planning on getting there at 11:55 and finding a spot, like I normally do, and I have to be there at 12, it's probably not going to happen this year.
Well, and there is the option to take treks, and I have actually done it a couple times, and it's not as scary as it seems. So I hop on tracks, or I've pulled up the tracks site and figured out my route, and you take tracks to a certain spot. You may have to walk a block or two to pick up the bus, and the bus literally drops you off right at the front of the side of the Capitol, the east side of the Capitol is where they drop you, and you can just walk right in, and it's kind of low stress because you don't have to walk up this huge hill when you're done. Oh my goodness. Anyone who's ever parked at the Capitol, I think, knows what I'm talking about when I talk about the hill. If you have to park up the hill, it's hard. But yeah, carpool. So talk to your friends, neighbors, carpool. It will make it nicer. Oh, and the cost for that is $5. And that just because we have to pay to rent the rooms at the Capitol, that's what that covers. And then if you want to order a lunch while you're there, that is...
Is it like $13? Let's register.
Let's see if it says.
Register.
I should have looked at this beforehand. It may not be on there. But lunch...
It's been a long day.
Lunch is... It's a very long day. Lunch is...
$13.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I said.
And then if you get a gluten-free, it's $15.
Oh,
okay.
But it's Apple Spice Junction. I love those. I love the pickle.
So good.
That's like my favorite
Cammy can
part.
have my pickle. I don't like
All right.
them.
I like pickles, so I'll eat. Anyone who doesn't want their pickle, I'll take it. So it's a lot of fun. If you don't want to buy a lunch, you can bring a lunch in there. So you can bring a lunch. It's allowed.
Yeah. Don't feel like you have to. If you have to come and buy a lunch if you don't want to, or
I've brought a lunch.
It's not in the
before.
cards or whatever. Like
You're totally fine doing that. So we just want you to be there because it's such an awesome opportunity to meet with, and your region people will be there too. So, and possibly your council people. I don't know.
Yeah, and I feel like there were people last year from my region that I had kind of heard of them, but I'd never met them before. So it was kind of fun to meet other people in my school district. And I live in Alpine, so we cover, a lot of cities. And I don't normally associate with people in Orem because I don't really have friends there because I live in Lehigh. So it's nice to get to see other people, and hear about what they're doing in their PTAs too. So
yeah, that's great. Great way to maybe do a little networking and getting to know some other awesome PTA people.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It's really fun. It's really fun. And sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I've totally seen your name everywhere, but you get to finally meet them,
Yeah.
So it's fun. I'm excited for it.
That is one of the, I don't think I went to PTA Day at the Capitol until I got onto the state board. And I was like, why haven't I been going to this? It's so awesome. So
there's also lots of other things that happen at the Capitol. There's also lots of other types of days. And if there's other organizations that you're involved in, it's really fun to go to those days and to see the other people that are involved in those organizations. I know last year we were involved and working with the policy project, and so I went to a few of their events, and that was really fun. And it was really neat to see the reasons why they stand behind the bills that they were fighting for, and just to network, meet different people, and you learn about different people's experiences. And some days are really fun. They have really fun days at the Capitol with different things. They have BYU Day, Ute Day, so many.
Yep. Well, and I think you can go to le.utah.gov and look at their calendar, and I think it actually
Sorry, we got sidetracked, but
if you want to look at what those days are, I think if you go to le.utah.gov and look at their calendar.
And some are open to the public. Some you have to already have RSVP'd or have been invited, but some are open to the public. So, but it's just really fun, and I think it's good to go and see the action in progress, because you can go and you can sit in during the sessions and see what they're talking about. And sometimes they're ahead of schedule, and so they joke around because they need to stall for time. And I don't know, you kind of get to see different sides of the legislators, and I don't know, I think it's exciting.
And don't be afraid to go and introduce yourself, I think, too. I think that's really important.
This is a real side note, but the senator that was running for my area, I became friends with all three of the people running, and I was like, whoever wins, I'm gonna come and sit with you. That's the caveat. I have to come sit with you.
Cool.
So I was like, sweet.
So are you gonna go sit with him?
Yeah, totally.
Awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, and so you realize yes, they're just people, and they really want to make the best decisions for Utah and for your area.
Yeah,
so that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
You'll have to let us know. We'll come take a picture.
I know, right?
Here's Angelee on the floor. So yes, the last one that we wanted to talk about is Student Day at the Capitol. And once again, because it's under construction, it's going to look a little bit different this year. But they are already starting to fill up. So if you want to take your group, it's anyone 6th grade and above, or student group 6th grade and above. It's on February 11th is the day that they've scheduled it from 9 to noon, and I believe they're in
1 hour slots and five per each hour.
And you go, let's see, so it's 5 slots, and then I know in the past they've done mock debates and things, and this year they kind of can't facilitate that like they have. But they'll have a lunch prepared, and then they have they'll have a guided
tour. There's no
tour.
lunch.
No, you can't. Oh, you have to buy it.
Yeah, if you want a lunch, you have to do lunch on your own.
That's right. Yes, because it's not provided this year because the logistics of it were really difficult. But you could take your group there, spend your hour there, and then you could go down to City Creek or something and get food there.
Yeah.
So there are kind of some options. And actually with our student leadership group, we actually did take tracks to the Capitol. So you can do that with your student groups. And if you do, contact PTA or not PTA, UTA. Contact UTA and you can get your bus fare for free.
Cool.
They will
that's
cover
awesome.
that. So yes, if you want to take your student group, you can. We took tracks and then did that, took tracks, walked the block over, picked up the bus, same thing. They drop you right off. And then you're not frantically, because I know, buses have to be at certain places for lunches and different things. We weren't on anyone's schedule other than getting back before school ended, and so that was really nice.
Oh yeah, that is nice.
We could kind of take it easy. We weren't rushed out the door because our bus was there, and it gave them a little bit of time to actually talk to some of the legislators and go in, and you can go in and sit and watch the Senate or the House do kind of some of their debating. So they'll have a scavenger hunt or a tour or something prepared for the kids to do, but I know those are filling up pretty fast. So you will definitely want to sign up for that quickly. If you can. I feel like I'm doing all the talking today. Sorry.
Good job. Keep it
That's
up.
all right.
I
I feel like I talk a lot in most of them.
talk a lot. It's okay. It's right. You guys are just supposed to tell me. And you're supposed to tell me when I get off topic. Actually.
Well, I'm the one steering us off topic today. It's fine. It's fine.
It's all good.
It's been a very long day.
Mm-hmm. It has. Yep.
Yes.
Very, very long day.
Not a bad day, but
a long
just a long one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So those are kind of the advocacy things coming up. We will be up there at least once a week. The commissioners go up there every Tuesday for our resolutions meeting. I know a lot of them will go up for different, committee meetings or when different bills are being discussed on the floor. So we will be up there a lot, and happy to answer any questions if we can that you might have. Or maybe you want to come up. Let us know. Maybe we're going up at the same time. If there's something, if you have a passion project you want to go up there.
Yeah. Or just to go during a hearing, like in the committees before they take it to the floor. That's always just interesting to hear too, because you can choose to testify if you want, which just basically means to say something. And sometimes you can prepare it ahead of time, but sometimes you just speak from the heart. But those are always kind of interesting to see, what people say and kind of what the legislators are thinking about that particular bill. Oh, it doesn't have enough money, or it's not funded, or we don't like it because blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I like that. I liked that part a lot last year.
Well, and it's really cool, too, because they split it up so it's those that are for and against, and they run it back and forth. So you're kind of hearing both sides as you go along, which I don't know. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And one of the ones I went to, there was one person against and then 30 people for.
Oh.
And they let everyone speak. It was SB 215, which is about the sexual abuse prevention to be taught in schools. And that one was really interesting because people talked about their own stories. This was really impactful.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was great. The bill sounded great, and I felt like we probably wouldn't have had to do much convincing of the legislators, but I think with all of these stories, there was so much power behind it. It was how could you say no now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the chair of the committee was like, okay, we like to do for and against. Is there anyone else against? And no one.
Well, now
I don't think that always happens.
Yeah,
I think it's usually there's a mix of both.
Yep, for sure.
But I like hearing both sides, and I don't know. Sometimes you change your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Well, and how many bills are brought forth during the session? Isn't it 1,000?
So I think there was around 1,200 this last year, and 500 and something went into law.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
Yeah. And those legislators don't have time to research. I mean, I don't know how they have time to even read all the bills, let alone, research. And so if you can come to them and, tell them why you're for or against something, I think that holds a lot of weight.
So this is a good time to contact your legislator, whether it's an email or a text. A lot of them actually like texts.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of too late in the game if you're concerned about a bill that's already went on the floor, because then there's not really much they can do about it at that point. I don't know if you know this, but if the bill comes from the House, it also has to be approved by the Senate. And vice versa as well. If it comes from the Senate, it also has to be approved by the House. But if your bill's already if it's a House bill and it's already went through the House and it's already in the Senate hearings, it's really hard to change the legislator's mind about the bill because it's already so far in the process. I know it's happened before, but now is the time to be talking to them about things you're passionate about, so they can put that a little bit more on their radar and be oh, okay, this is what my constituents think about this subject.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, and if you want to know kind of what PTA's stance is on bills and bills that we're watching, you can do that by going to Advocacy legislative bills. And right now, I don't know if there's any on there. Oh. There are some obvious.
Year.
Oh, those are last year's.
Well, so you can see them. They're from last year. I'm whoa, what?
I was oh dear, what have I forgotten to do? But yeah, so you can go and see look right now at the bills from last year. And
So click one of them.
yep, so this one was SBO 268, and then it will say S for substitution 03. So this one actually went through three
Had three different
three
changes.
versions, I
Yeah.
guess. So they made changes. And this one it's the First Home Investment Zone Act. And
And I don't even remember that.
This one, if I remember right,
This was Cammy's bill.
yeah, this was one of mine. That's why I'm like, okay, let me read through it really quick and remember. So this one was, and we were opposed with comment. So I'm trying to read quickly to remember if this is the bill I'm thinking of.
While you're reading,
Yeah.
keep reading. You read. I was just going to say, if anybody wants to know who their legislator is, because maybe you get up there and like, who am I looking for? That's how I would be. You can go to le.utah.gov, then go to legislators, and there's a little drop down, find by your address. You type in your address and it shows you who your legislators are.
And you'll have two.
And you'll have two.
A senator and a...
House district and a Senate
I'm like,
district.
a house of what?
Yep. So this one, the reason we were opposed is we realize how important it is to have affordable housing, but it was taking away funding that would help local schools. So,
Oh, that's right.
as they were trying to build schools in the they wouldn't. Yes, schools are important, but if you can't fund, or yes, affordable housing is important, but if you can't properly facilitate, schooling and other things, then, you're just creating other problems. And so that was why we were opposed to
Yeah, but you can see what resolution we used for it, so you can click on the resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of put what the impact on kids is. We often, I don't know often, but we also use the national PTA resolutions as well. But you can kind of see all the information. You can click. It says bill details, and it gives you all the things where it's at in the process. But you can click on the bill. It tells you who the sponsor is. You can learn a lot by looking on the PTA page of just what we're following. And there were a lot on there.
Trying to remember if this is the one that did not pass. There was one, actually, and
I think it did pass because
I think
the
it did
governor
pass.
signed.
But there was one that we were watching, and I remember it had an impact on schools. And after we, made our decision on our position, or took our position, they actually changed some wording on it. And I don't know if it was because of PTA. There were a couple other groups that were, kind of petitioning about it. But I would hope that maybe they listened to PTA and thought, okay, yeah, this is something that needs to be changed, and they changed that little part of the bill. So there are kind of some cool things. It's kind of fun to see and watch how things go. So yeah.
Are you ready to do it again, Cammy?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's do it.
It was Cammy and I's first year last year, and it was a lot.
And we don't even have some of the. Education. She had
So many
over
bills.
100 bills, I think, last year that she was trying to follow and keep track of, and I had maybe about 10 to 15. How many did you have?
I had 30.
And I ended up not even following them all because, as we would read through them, we discover it really didn't, either it wasn't really something part of, we try to stick with our not strategic plan. That's what I'm looking for.
Mission?
Well, our mission, but we have our statement.
Our purposes? No.
Yeah, what is that word?
What is the word I'm
I
looking
know what you're
for?
talking about.
Our
Something.
Resolutions.
No, not resolutions. Oh my goodness, you guys. It really has
Advocacy.
Legislative priorities. So times when, it affects kids, but when you have that many bills going through, you really need to focus on the ones that are most important and will have the most impact. And so a lot of my bills, we'd either choose not to follow, or they just didn't really fit into what we needed. So I got lucky that way. But yeah, some of these, they have 100 bills or something that they're trying to keep track of. So it's pretty busy.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. So yes. So health, education. What's another one that gets a lot? I feel like health,
Safety.
has a lot. And safety.
Safety had a lot last year.
Mm-hmm.
Lot.
Yeah. So yeah, it's fun stuff.
I think this year we'll all be helping each other. Like, it's like when I get to this many bills, then everybody else has to take the next set. Like,
Yes. Well, it's so funny because the way they have the bills listed, they usually have education first and then community engagement, and they keep having to bump mine down. Like at the beginning of the session, it's showing on the, when you pull it up, it shows, and then as it goes, it just keeps getting
no, just keeps going down the list.
So yes, everyone has to scroll past education to get to theirs, and so we know.
And we're like, sorry, Amber, sorry, Amber, sorry.
Exactly. But it's important work, and as stressful as it can be at times, like we do it because we love the kids and we want to make sure that we're doing the best for them.
And I feel like at the end of the session, like you could tell what good work was done.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was hard and sometimes it was really frustrating, but I feel like at the end it was like, wow, like there was so much good work that was done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's worth it.
Yep, for sure.
Well, I think we should just wrap it up right there.
Yeah, it's perfect.
The end.
Before we get too off topic again.
I know, right?
The end.
Now
That's
it's
good.
Dance.
Get involved.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Go to the Capitol.
It's really cool to go there. I don't know. There's just
and it's
something
just
cool
a
about
beautiful
the
building. Even if you don't go to do the legislative session or anything, the building is stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so pretty. I love it. Okay.
Okay.